All right, so I'm outside of a 2020 Honda Pilot. This is the EX model, so this is one model above your base. So just giving you a quick profile view of the car in the front. You can see that the car does have fog lights, LED daytime running lights, nice chrome grille. It does have Honda sensing, so one of the cameras I'm going to point out a little bit, you can see in that triangle or trapezoid shape right there. It does have sensors off the back of the car as far as cross-traffic monitoring and a few different things. So we're going to go over that together. The first thing I want to start you on is the key, though. It does have remote start. To use it, press the lock button and press and hold the remote start button for a couple seconds. It should flare some lights at you, and then it'll crank up the car. So to extend that beyond the 10 minutes, press that same sequence again. It'll run for another 10. So now you've got 20 minutes. To turn it off, I can press the unlock button and that remote start button and turn the vehicle off. So that's how remote start works. Now it's keyless entry also, which means that I can walk up to the door with the key in my pocket, put my hand on the door handle, it'll automatically unlock for me. When I'm getting out, if I want to lock the doors, it's now locked. I'm ready to get the key out. So doors are locked, now it's unlocked. So really cool functions as far as that goes. If I have my keys are in my bag, in my pocket, or I just have a kiddo in my hand or whatever it may be. Now coming up on the back of the car, same thing, I've got my keys in the pocket. I can walk up and be able to pop it from here. I don't have to get my keys out. Right now I've got the third row down, so you can see an idea for storage space. So I'm going to throw my carpeted floor mats that come with the car out of the way and show your storage back here first. So if I was looking at a Passport considering the two, maybe I don't need that third row all the time. This is the amount of space you have in a Passport as far as your storage goes. So just so you have an understanding. The Passport and the Pilot are very similar. Except this one offers this and the Passport doesn't. I can drop that storage down in there. And to give you an idea for my spacing, this is what a carry-on would fit in. So I could stack carry-ons next to each other. Now if I was going to throw like something wet or a cooler that may leak some water, I can flip this over to the plastic side and go that way and drop that down in there. So pretty cool that you can do that. Now I've got my seats down. You can see I have my air vents, my storage, my cubbies, my drink holders back here for the third row people. It's actually a pretty legitimate third row. I'm a 6-footer and I can get back there and I'm just fine. And you can adjust these second rows. I'll show you the sliding bar to do it, so I can adjust those a little bit too if I need to. I do have a power outlet back here, so if I needed to be able to power something additionally, give some power if we're taking a long trip to those third row people, they have that ability. Now down below that, you'll see right here, this is where my gas cap, if it gets stuck, I can pop this off. So I just stick the key in there and pop it open. Also the funnel, because it is capless, if I need to, in case I run out of gas and I have to use the gas cap, I'll show you that here in a second too and explain it. So that's your third row on the car. This is not powered, so I opened it manually and I'm going to close it manually. You would need to go up to the EXL to get the powered one, so just something to keep in mind if you're considering that. So on my second row, let's make sure my doors are unlocked here, and we'll show you a couple features. So it is a carpet, or excuse me, I should say cloth interior. So this one is my beige interior. You're either going to get gray, beige, or black as far as the interiors on the Pilot. So that's the only options they offer. They don't offer like a saddle brown or anything weird like that. I can fold these bad boys down right there. And then I was telling you they are adjustable. I've got a track bar system here that I can adjust, back and forth on that. My climate control, I do have controls back here, so I can control front, the left and right side, and the back separate of each other. So tri-zone climate control. So that is your second row as far as that goes. Now, moving up to the front of the car, I'm going to point out first, while I got the door open, a few things. 10-way powered seat, so I control front, back, up, down, and then I do have my lower lumbar support, which are those controls right there. My gas cap to pop it open is right there. So let's show you that because I mentioned it earlier. It's a capless system, so it's kind of nice. You push in and then it holds for you. Now, if you run out of gas, you're going to need something to put in there so that you can pour the gas in. That's what that funnel is for, that's hidden back there, along with the trigger release for this system in case you can't get this to open. Pop on the hood, your controls are right there. And then, my window controls, my door locks, and my window locks. So let's hop in the car and crank it up. So foot on the brake, press the start button, fires your car up. And I'll show you a couple features here. So down here, the first one you'll see is that LED lit up. That's road departure mitigation. So the way that feature works is if I start to drive off the shoulder of the road, it'll give me an audible alert first, and then it'll actually shake the wheel to be like, hey, wake up, pay attention, you're driving off the side of the road. Now above that, you'll see a car where it looks like it's rear-ending another car. That's collision mitigation braking. That system is always running. So that one's always on. This one I can turn on and off kind of as I go. This one remains on unless I press and hold to turn it off. Collision mitigation braking is set up to where if it's looking like I'm going to rear end another car, First, it'll give me an audible alert and flash in the dash, and then it'll actually start to apply the brakes to prevent the accident. So this is part of Honda Sensing. So those two features are part of Honda Sensing. Additionally, I've got two more up here on the steering wheel, so I'm just going to touch on all of them at once. Lane Keep Assist right here. If I press that button, you'll see some dotted lines appear up here in the dash. So you can see them flashing at us right now. When I'm going over 45 miles an hour, these will fill in solid. What it's doing is it's using a camera up here to detect the lines on the road in front of me. So when I start to drift to my left or to my right, it'll actually correct for me and keep me centered in that lane. If you don't use your blinker, yeah, it's going to assume that you're drifting. If you use your blinker, it's not going to do anything. It's going to let you go ahead and it's going to override it. So that's Lane Keep Assist. Now, Adaptive Cruise Control, which is ACC, you'll see up there, right there, is exactly that. So to get up to my speed, and then I press set to hold my speed, where it says ACC off, it would show you 65 or whatever speed you have set. From there, I can now set the distance it's going to keep between me and the car in front of me at all times. So I would press this button and start selecting boxes. The more boxes, the more space it keeps between you and the car in front of you. So if I set the speed to 65, the guy in front of me gets in front of me and slows down to 55, it's going to keep my designated spacing that I picked and slow the car down. When I get out from behind him, it'll then take me back up to whatever that designated speed that's sitting right there when I'm driving. So that's how Adaptive Cruise Control works. Now, if you want just a classic cruise control, press and hold this button. It'll flip over and say Cruise Mode Selected. So now it's just classic cruise with, set, cancel, resume. Pretty easy. If I want to flip back to the Adaptive Cruise Control, press and hold. It'll say ACC Mode Selected. Adaptive Cruise Control is now active, right? So that's how those two functions work. As far as the other side of the steering wheel, my home button right here will pull up all my options here, and then I can scroll up and down and select what I want. As far as tripometer information, don't think I need to explain that too much. Phone, I can access my call log, call history, different things once I have it connected to Bluetooth. Whatever audio I'm listening to. So I'm going to turn that on for a second just so you can see how it works. You can see SiriusXM is pulled up. While I'm on that, I'll mention that you do get a 90-day free trial. At the end of the trial, it'll just naturally end, so you don't have to worry about anything in relation to getting billed. So that's how Sirius works. Now, continuing to scroll down, maintenance, this is kind of cool. The tire pressure does show you per tire, so you can see that I've got a couple tires that are a little bit different from each other. And then my oil life set to 100 right now. When I get down to 15%, it'll throw me an alert, show me that wrench. I would be able to say A1, A2, B1, B2, now letting me know that, oh, I'm due for an oil change, but I can Google that code. Honda's been putting these codes in these cars forever, and it'll tell me exactly what I'm getting recommended when I show up to the dealership. So if you're the kind of person who's like, I don't know if I really need this, they just seem to be recommending stuff while I'm there, check the code, and you'll know ahead of time. So that's kind of a rundown of these screens that you're seeing right here. Under your settings, you can do a couple cool things. If you don't like the tachometer, turn it off. Turn it back on. Range the apps, so if you want to move some apps around, put things in certain places, you can absolutely do that. So you can see I can move stuff around and select it and place it. So that's how that works. My Bluetooth controls are right here. Answer a call, to hang up a call and use voice command. Tap it once, it'll pull up. And then I would, it'd wait for me to say an option. So say an option below. If I want to skip the prompts whenever I'm doing it, I can double tap it and it'll skip prompts. It's really super loud right now, so somebody's been playing with the volume on this, but I can show you how to adjust that. If I have the car connected up to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which are these two buttons right here, and to do so, I would just plug my phone into the USB right here, and then these will light up, depending on which style of phone I'm using. It's really cool. It gives you access to your navigation. So if you're a Google Maps user, a Waze user, Apple Maps user, you can go that route for either one of these systems. You have your navigation, your music, your messages, and a lot of other apps. So Spotify, Pandora, WhatsApp, iHeartMedia. So there's several different apps. They're continuing to add, so it's kind of cool. Whenever you plug in your phone and you pull up the home screen when you select this, it'll show you all the available apps you have that transfer over. So a lot of different functionality, or I should say functions you have, depending on what apps you're using. So that's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Very easy to use. Just plug your phone in the USB. Just remember, if you're an Android user, you do have to download the Android Auto app, which is titled Android Auto, and the icon looks like that in the Play Store. So that's how that works. So that is the left side of the steering wheel. Moving over to the right side, we already touched on the Honda Sensing features there. Over here, my stock, so auto on-off headlights, I'm going to set them and leave them, and then my fog light controls are down here. Over on the other side of my window, I should say windshield wiper controls. If I pull down, controls my fronts. To do my backs, I work off this system right here. So that's how those functions work. The touchscreen I like to touch on for a little bit, just because most people, if they're going to struggle with something, it's going to be here. Now, the first thing I like to point out is this is just your general home screen, just like it would be on a phone with all my apps set up, right? So pretty easy to understand for most people. Now, if you want to customize this and move these apps around, it is very easy to do. Let's say you're like, Justin, I don't have an Android phone, or I don't need that button here. Well, press and hold. It's going to pull up this function screen right here, and then from here I can start moving stuff around. So I could get rid of apps, move them around, pull stuff from 1 or 2 screens over and add them. So it's just kind of nice that you can do that. And when you're all set to how you want it, press done. Now it'll hold that screen, so you can see where I just moved those two. So easy to understand, very intuitive and easy to use. Now, from the home screen, I'll just touch on a couple things. We already talked about Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The settings on the vehicle. So this is where a couple features are that I really like. So first thing I want to talk about is Bluetooth connections. So to add a connection, adding your phone, hit connections, Bluetooth right here, connect new device. You can see I can connect up to 6 devices to the car. Press that, it'll start searching. Just make sure you have Bluetooth on in your vehicle, or excuse me, in your phone if you're connecting it up. So very easy to connect up a phone. Back out of that, down here under vehicle. So just to get you back to where I was at, go to settings, then we're going to go to vehicle. So this is where I have some door and window setup. So if you go to door setup right here, I can affect the door locks on the car. So right now the car is set when I hit 10 miles an hour to automatically lock the doors. Maybe I want it to shift to park. The minute I shift from park, I want it to automatically lock, or I want to turn this feature completely off. This is where you do it. Now, one screen down, auto door unlock. So that's where I'm at right now. This means when I open my driver's side door, it'll then unlock the remaining doors of the car. So this is when I'm exiting the vehicle. Maybe I want to change that because the driver takes a really long time. They're messing with their stuff, and I'm ready to get out of the car and I get tired of having to hit the unlock button. We'll set it to when you shift to park, or when you turn the ignition off, or turn it completely off. So some different features you can play with there. So that's these top 2 features right here under door setup. So I'm going to go back. I'm still under vehicle. And I'm going to scroll around here and show you a couple other features. Keyless access setup right here. At the very bottom of the screen, you'll see walk away auto lock. So I'm going to select that. This is currently turned off. Now what this feature is if I turn it on, which I'm going to, the minute I get 10 feet from the car, if I have the key with me, it'll automatically lock the doors to the car. So if you get halfway into the store, you can't remember if you locked it and you left your laptop in the car, this is a function you're probably going to want on. I'm that person, so I typically turn this on for myself. Now, if you're not, maybe you don't need it, and you'll always just get out and you'll use the clicker that you have. But I like to know that I can get out and just walk away from the car, and it'll lock no matter what, and I don't have to worry about it. So easy to, set it and forget it kind of thing. So that's just some general settings on the car. FM, I'll just briefly touch on this. I think you all know how FM works. The one thing I will say is when you're under a station that does have HD options, you'll be able to select the HD channels over here and select from those. So it's just kind of cool. So you can see how it's lit up now. I can select it, and then any options that are available would be down here. So if there's a 1, 2, and 3, I could select those. So that's how the HD stations work on here. Bluetooth audio, I just have to connect up, and then I'd be able to pull up and stream anything, whether it be off my device, my phone, whatever the the technology I'm using is. Phone, this is where I, once I've connected up, I'll have access to my recent calls, favorite contacts, I can use the keypad, that kind of thing. Now, related to connecting up your phone, I want to talk about something real quick, and it's Honda Link related. When you connect up your phone, one of the last questions it's going to prompt you with is, in the event that you get in an accident, they can automatically call 911 for you. It's 100% free, and what it means is if I get into an accident, my airbags deploy, Honda calls down through the car to me. If I don't answer, they're assuming I'm unconscious. They'll call 911 and send somebody out to my location via GPS that they found in the car. 100% free, works a lot like OnStar. Take advantage of this. While I'm talking about Honda Link, though, this offers some additional features, and what those features are is the ability to control your door locks from your phone and being able to start the car from your phone. Depending on which trim level of the car you pick, you're going to have different options. So go to HondaLink.com and you can see per trim level, in case you're like, well, if I go up to the XL, what do I get? That's where you can check. So HondaLink.com. Those are subscription-based, the ones with that are connecting to your phone. But the safety feature that I discussed first, 100% free in every single one of my cars. Trip computer, it's exactly what it sounds like. So I can pull up and see my range, how many miles of this tank of gas in my current and previous trips. Now moving over, SMS text function is kind of cool. It'll read text aloud to you, and then you have the ability to respond back. You can do the same thing with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I'd be able to press and hold till I hear the beep for Siri, and then say, Siri, send a text to so-and-so. And it would send the text for me. Or Siri, call this person. It'll do it for me. So same thing with Google, or Android-based users, I should say. We touched on that. USBs, I can plug into the USB. Got one right there. Have an additional USB down here, and then also an auxiliary port in that spot right there. So if I want to plug in a USB full of a bunch of music, I could go that route. If I want to store that music to the car, I could then store it by selecting here and then pulling that music across from the USB. Now, social playlist is really cool. If we're set up through the Wi-Fi together, all of us could add songs to a playlist. So that way we don't have to listen to just one person's music. So if the driver has terrible taste in music and they only want to listen to Nickelback, well, then maybe we all add some music. If you like Nickelback, no worries, I do too. I'm not afraid to say it. Embrace it. So that's kind of a touch on the, touching on the touchscreen. I guess I've explained that. Moving down, I've got a tri-zone climate control, so I can control left, right, and back separate of each other. Pretty easy to understand. I've got them all synced up right now, so that's why it's doing that. If I jump off of that, I can jump around and start affecting all kinds of different things separate of each other. And if I want to control them again, sync, now they all work on my side. The car does have heated seats. To use them, I've got it right here. So my driver and passenger side have those. Down below, you saw the USB that I plug into for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I know I do have a 12-volt power adapter. And then I've got like a matte finish here, a rubber deal that'll actually keep stuff from sliding around in case your phone wants to be set there. I do have some traction control settings, so I've got a snow and a normal. And when you touch those, it'll toggle between here. And it gives you a cool graphic, so who doesn't like that? In my storage, you saw a second ago, I've got another power outlet down there and the USB along with the 9mm auxiliary jack, and then just some good storage that I can use in here. So take advantage of that if you need it. And then I've got a sliding shelf if I need it for like change or anything. And then another rubber finish down in there in case I need to, pull it out and clean it off, you can. Cloth interior, I do like it does have armrests up here in the passenger in front, standard mirror setup. Sunglass holder with a mirror to keep an eye on the kiddos in the back. No moonroof. If you want a moonroof, you got to go up one model to the EXL. Excuse me. Oh, before I forget, car does have blind spot monitoring in the mirror, so you can see in both of these locations right here. It'll light up in orange if there's somebody in your blind spot, and then it'll actually give you an audible alert if you start to try to get over. You can see I have tweeters up in the front, tweeters in the back. I believe there's a 6-speaker system. Don't quote me on that one. I may be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure. 6 airbags in the car, so 2 front, 2 side, and then 2 full curtain that open the entire, first, second, and third row as far as the glass goes. So this is my Basque Red Pearl, I believe number 2 finish on the outside with the beige interior. Let me know if you have any questions. You can comment on the YouTube video. You're more than welcome to comment there. I'm pretty good about getting back to people. Or you can always call me if you need immediate answers, 737-443-9555. Either one of those should get me. Let me know what questions you have. Feel free to comment. I'd be more than happy to help you out in any way I can. Thank you much.